Sequoyah Birthplace Museum. We're located in VONORE, Tennessee. We're about an hour south of Knoxville. So the Sequoyah Birthplace Museum, we're owned and operated by the Eastern Band of the Cherokee. We were created as a result of the Tellico Lake. The Cherokee were protesting the lake because it was going to cover up a number of town graves, sacred sites. Amanita Sequoyah filed 2 lawsuits because the lake was going to cover up where he got medicine. I've been here for 20 years now, and even when I got here, the board had identified that they needed to tell more of Sequoyah's story than what we were telling back with the old exhibit. The old exhibit was a lot of the period, paleo, Indian, archaic, tons and tons of artifacts, pottery shards, pots, and we only spent about 4 cases talking about Sequoyah and the syllabary. And so the process started, well, now I guess almost 10 years ago, and trying to fundraise, trying to plan, and then the lady that was doing our exhibit, she ended up taking another job in China, and so we had to find another exhibit. Lynn Henley was the lady that came in and picked up everything that we had done, and she took it and put it together and turned it into what you see here today. In doing the school tours, it was very obvious. Kids had school kids have no clue what it took to print a book 150, 200 years ago. And so, the incredible story of Sequoyah alone is well worth a whole museum just to that. But also I thought a subline kind of, an extra bonus is being able to demonstrate and tell people how you have to find the type. It's in reverse. You set the type, you check it for proofs, you put it in the press, you ink it, put paper on it, press it, pull it up, and and the finished product. And to make 1,000 Cherokee Phoenixes, how many times would you have to do that whole process? 2,000 times, because you'd have page 1 and page 4, and then you would have page 2 and page 3. So you would have those on the press. You would print all the page 1s, then you would take that chase off, put the chase with page 2 and 3, do it 1,000 times on the ones you've already done to get 1,000 newspapers. One of the things we're working on with the printing press and our Cherokee type is what we were trying to come up with something that would be a way of commemorating the bicentennial of Sequoyah creating the syllabary. And it kind of popped in my mind that the bicentennial of the syllabary, 200 years of Cherokee literacy. And so working with Brian Baker from Striped Light up in Knoxville, they're kind of artists and printing shop and letterpress. And so what we kind of came up with is to create a bicentennial version of the Cherokee syllabary, commemorating it and having Sequoyah Birthplace Museum. One of the other projects we're working on is securing images of, and I want to do Volume 1, Number 1, and Volume 1, Number 2, because those are the Constitution. It's printed in Cherokee and in English, and if we get high quality images, then we can have plates made, and we could actually print up the 4-page Volume 1 and Volume 2. The other project that we want to do using the press is any of the Cherokee speakers, create Christmas cards, birthday cards, Valentine's Day cards, green corn, any holiday, anything, poems if they got it. But what I've been talking to Lou Jackson and several others is basically do it in Cherokee and not worry about English, and then after it's done in Cherokee, translate it into English. And so once we could do, we set up the type, print up some of the cards, and we could do the same thing. We could send those images and have a plate made so that we could continue to make some Christmas cards or birthday cards, Valentine's Day cards, Mother's Day, Father's Day. And so, but have it come from the Cherokee and not Hallmark.